Chapter 10. Saber cracked her neck. Let's get out of here. Did you know? Mr. Blue raised his head and leaned toward her on the bar. That is the most used phrase on film and television. Fascinating, the demure time agent replied. Mr. Blue finished his beverage and looked up at the ceiling of the Endless. Don't know where I heard that. Saber removed the empty martini glass from the Time Lord's hand, placed it on the bar. Death smiled, taking it and disappearing into the back. Regardless, the outcome remains, she finished. The stranger in the cobalt suit sighed, standing and dusting himself off. A strange quirk of his regeneration which Saber was ambivalent about. She led him to a painting of his time capsule. Purge present incarnation, a battered old blue grandfather clock. He raised his eyebrows. Don't remember seeing that before. As I explained before, your fifth self interrupted me. The Endless is a cross-schism temporal platform, meaning annex to the TARDIS. You don't have access. Not yet. This place suffices as a common area for your various selves to canoodle or whatever. Saber illustrated by pointing to a few canvases on the other side of the room. One depicting a standard 1980s red British phone booth, another showed a dark green Asian pagoda. There was an exquisite oil fresco of the now familiar ebony obsidian marble obelisk, which the stranger in black occupied. There were others, yet Saber refocused his attention before he could peer further down the path of his future selves. They all lead to Purge. Whatever version of Purge and yourself that painting happens to depict. Now, Saber took his elbow and led him into the bridge of his time capsule. Let's get started. As they stepped aboard Purge's control room, a portrait of the Endless, with Death tending bar, shrunk to a tiny sliver of a mirror and floated into the blue marble time rotor. I need to get to Logopolis, the time agent informed Mr. Blue as she input coordinates. Logopolis has been gone for some time. Hate to inform you. The stranger in blue slyly negated the coordinates. Logopolis Beta. Saber re-input the coordinates with a marked increase in impatience. Didn't you read the training manual? Mr. Blue raised one eyebrow. Oh, you do, kid. Saber shook her head. You do, kid? Logopolis Beta. Logopolis Beta, Saber continued, is where I was trained in the arts of organic block transfer computation. Ah! That oblivious Time Lord nodded. Purge hummed eternally in the background. Not a damn clue, huh? Saber placed her hands on her hips, staring at him. He rubbed the back of his neck. Saber stated aloud various archaic mathematical formulas. Suddenly, her trusty katana appeared in her hand. This can theoretically cut through any substance, provided it isn't time locked. Mr. Blue tilted his head to one side. Right. Almost impressive. Saber leered at him. He cleared his throat, moving past his comment. The eye thing. The Time Lord pointed at both of his eyes with his index finger rapidly in order to illustrate. The attractive and mysterious time agent obligingly let loose another series of incantations, causing her eyes to become armored with some silver metal. This substance is part of my genetic structure, sentient, biocontrolled liquid adamantium. I was originally intended as a weapon to be used with the last great time war. Things didn't go that way, especially when I met a conniving little wizard covered in question marks that traveled in a blue police box. So, that's the great architect then? The one who gives you and Mr. Black your orders. Saber muttered something. Her katana and shielding vanished, then returned her attention. He just goes by Black, not Mr., and I don't receive orders. Thank you very much. I'm an agent, not a soldier. The Time Lord raised both his hands, submitting. Now what is love? He straightened his cobalt suit and azure tie, glancing at the blue and teal and chrome steampunk control console. Logopolis Beta. The beautiful time agent in black leather armor pulled her ponytail tighter. First, we have to pass through the... All the power left purge. All light drained. All background time functioning ceased. There was silence and darkness. They were dead in the water. Inverse thermal vortex barrier, Saber finally concluded. No, 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 no! Mr. Blue was frantically shouting and punching dials and knobs, flipping switches like a madman. You don't have the shields up! She leered at his outline in the almost pitch black of the bridge. You didn't bloody tell me we need 'em! He yelled back. Now, something sucked all our power. Perhaps the barrier, perhaps something else. That's not possible. I know damn well possible, you cheeky git. It's my time machine. The time agent sighed. What's the damage? Fried, the Time Lord answered. Down to the binary influx valves. I need a brand new circuit board. One capable of flex. Fine. Saber took out her psychic glass, illuminating it, only in her mind. Okay, she announced after a brief interlude. There's a planet close enough to here. Ice planet. Vrem. Oi, no! She held up her hand, assuming with his advanced Time Lord vision that he could see it in the almost complete darkness. I'm getting readings that the tech is from 2667. A physics lab. Perfect basic circuitry. It should work for this duct tape job. Mr. Blue looked upward, stroking his platinum blonde goatee. Oh, a genius, love! Saber arched her eyebrow casually. One is aware, Time Lord. And can we get there? We can get there, the time agent stated. We'll have to disengage base stabilizers and gravity. Oh, for heaven's sake, do you mean... Saber nodded. We have to crash. A navy-colored grandfather clock, battered and antique, plummeted toward an unforgiving ice planet. Even in the void of space could be heard the screaming voice of a 122-year-old alien. I hate being a Time Lord!